Good morning and welcome to Money Wisdom, sponsored by Johnson Brunetti. I'm Jalene Andrews. We're teaching you smart ways to manage your money, and joining us now with expert advice is Eric Hogarth, certified financial planner and senior partner at Johnson Brunetti. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Jalene. Great to be here.
All right, so when people get to the age that they want to retire, they might think about downsizing or relocating. And if this is the case, people should evaluate their housing needs. What should people be taking into consideration?
There are lots to think about. Where do you want to live? That's step number one. What state, where do you want to be? I've had people move all over the country. I've had people move outside of the country only to determine, I don't like it, and then they move back. So do you want to stay in your home? Is that the best place for you? So that's step number one.
Yeah, you want to make a plan and know what to look for, right?
Yes.
Okay, our next bullet here is that people should also take the cost of living into account.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise to anyone. I mean, Connecticut's expensive to live here. The United States is an expensive place to live. I love it here, and I love Connecticut, love New England, but it used to be, well, I'm just going to sell my house, I'm going to move to Florida, and it's cheaper. Maybe it's not. You know, so there's pros and cons to all these different areas, but at the core, it's where do you want to live? And a lot of that is community, family, things like that. So you're not going to move just based on cost, but there are places that you can move, Tennessee, that are a lot cheaper.
And it's still warmer.
And it's warmer. Everywhere is warmer.
All right, another important aspect is understanding your financial situation.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the quality of life. People have different priorities, right? The most important thing to me is that I live in this house. I love this house. I want to live here. Another person, I don't really care where I live. I want to travel all over the place, or I want to be able to take my grandkids on vacation. Whatever you are going to prioritize, be looking at those things, because some houses are very inexpensive to maintain. Some are very, very expensive.
Right, and last, it's not a bad idea to get a second opinion. People should do this by seeking professional advice, of course.
Get some input on this. I mean, and the whole idea of downsizing, I mean, I've had plenty of clients who have, downsized. So I sold my big house because it's too big, and I spent twice as much money on a smaller house. Like, okay. Like, is that really what you want to be doing? Be thinking about, if you've lived in a home for a long time and you've done all the work on it and you've maintained it, it might be the cheapest place for you to live. Some people rent. And it's like, oh, you're throwing money away. No, you're not. Who told you that? Like, get advice from someone who knows what they're talking about on this subject, not just your neighbor who has opinions about everything. So
yeah, absolutely. A lot depends on who you ask, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and for people who are interested in learning more, tell us about this week's book offer.
The Retirement Relocation Checklist. Go to moneywisdomtv.com and get it. It's not just, there are lots of places you could move that are cheaper. You could also walk around town instead of drive. That's cheaper, but be looking at this from the perspective of what's most important to me, where am I getting value? So again, moneywisdomtv.com, and it'll walk you through the things that you should be thinking about, which are much more than just how much does it cost to live there. So you want to have a great retirement, plan it before you retire.
All right, Eric, as always, thanks so much for your time this morning. For Connecticut's Morning Buzz, I'm Jalene Andrews. We'll see you next time.